Disclaimer. You know, it's a pretty cool concept that unfortunately doesn't have the most consistency with it to be all that well executed. Let's talk about mid-activation bottoms, or mid-battle activation bottoms. Before we continue with this video, I just want to mention, check out molabays.com. Not only do we have Beyblade X there, but we also have some previous burst stuff. It is an optional way to support the channel that keeps us going. Now, we're gonna leave something like Dronzer V2 alone, since after looking at Plastics DB and talking to Sky Shu, you know, Dronzer will get a pass for this video to talk about, also because I don't know Dronzer V2. So we're gonna talk about Big Bang Pegasus and Final Drive. So basically how this works, and you'll basically see the repeated theme. Essentially, it'll start off as a semi-flat at the start at high spin, but as the spin depletes, it will retract, and then after you basically get into a rubber flat. Now, the issue with this, ignoring viability, like for performance, is just the activation time is extremely late. So in battle, it's pretty useless because it doesn't activate when you need it to. And because it's so far near the end of the battle, even if there was use, there can't be any there. Now, we kind of get into an interesting one, which is El Drago. Now, El Drago is just the reverse. Now, it goes from a flat, now it's a flat at the start and it goes to a little spike. Now the thing is, for El Drago, it kind of makes sense, right? At the start, you go pretty aggressive and you're supposed to try to equalize with like a stamina bottom. But the thing is, for El Drago, Final Survive does not work in practice. Doesn't have any really good stamina towards it. It was an interesting concept, you know. It goes aggressive at the start, you have some stamina at the end, maybe you can outspin some. The shape is another big thing that's the issue. Ignoring activation time, the issue is also shape in this case. Now when we get to God Valkyrie with the reboot driver, more or less the same idea, kind of like this little flat on there and then after it's supposed to go in, and the same idea with Ultimate Reboot. So the issue for both of these, with slightly less on the burst version of Ultimate Reboot, is that again, the activation time is really late. Now for Ultimate Reboot's defense, there are times, which I think I've at least seen this with Ultimate Reboot Dash from Prime Apocalypse, that maybe you can get it on decent times for activation, but still, the issue for consistency on when it's supposed to actually do it is always an issue. Now we get into Generate with Diabolos. Now, Generate is basically this version of Final Survive. So basically how this works is that you go flat at the start, and then after you kind of get like a little bit of this ball shape, kind of, and then after, yeah, in the end game of the battle, it's supposed to be like that. Now, in the defense of Diabolos, Generate's shape for how it works. Generate, honestly, was kind of not even like, for GT era, it was aight, because you could kind of stall around in the stadium sometimes, and on Master, at least against attack stuff, you could potentially outspin them. So Generate was like, it was okay. It was okay for like opposite spin versus like attack stuff, and like, kind of same spin, whatever, but at least kind of a step in the right direction. Now with Shot's entire gimmick is basically later on in the battle, it's supposed to jump, and kind of more or less a similar trend with all of these, where the activation is a little bit awkward, similar to like the reboot stuff. And you know, as we end off, you know, what do you think of the gimmick in the comments? Do you like the idea of like the Final Survive / Generate? Or do you like kind of like the sort of like the reboot, Ultimate Reboot's Final Drive? Or do you like the wild cards like Shots? You know, what do you like? And do you think it is possible to design it where it can be effective or have some use? I want to say kind of yes, because I feel like kind of Ultimate Reboot was there for like niche, decent use, and kind of Generate within only the GT system within that era, like kind of okay-ish. And yeah, listen, obviously not every single gimmick is going to work. That's not the point of this series. We're not trying to say TT is wrong and they should never do this gimmick. It's just kind of trying to see, you know, what it could do. Was it ever able to really work out that well? That's kind of the idea with this. Anyways, that's pretty much it for this video. I don't know what I'm going to talk about next. Honestly, Beyblade has a lot of potential, so I probably got a lot of stuff to talk about. Anyways, thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Have a wonderful day. Bye.